What are we making?
We're making sticky buns today.
We're having a big community open house on Saturdays, or is it Fridays?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. 3 days.
3 days.
3 days, how many people?
Last year we had probably about 200 people that came by over the course of the 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a good showing.
It is. So lots of little maple treats are required.
And what is this you're making right here?
Okay, this is the dough that I've prepared.
And just this morning.
For the sticky buns. And what I am doing here, I'm going to roll this out into a rectangle. Then I'm preparing them the way my mother used to prepare hers, which is a little different than any of the recipes that I have found recently. My father actually was the maple cream person. He always made the maple cream, and then my mother used the maple cream to assemble her sticky buns with.
So I have some recipes from my mother, her mother's, and they go back as far as, the family stories go. And it's Scotch shortbread. And when I make it, it's amazing. It's like my mother's in the kitchen with me.
Yes, yes.
Is that her rolling pin too?
Actually, it is not.
Uh-huh.
But yes, that's entirely so. And I think that it is so wonderful to celebrate the season with these traditional recipes and just the traditional fare that we had, that our generations in our family have had. So yeah, very important.
And what season is this? Sugar season is the end of winter, beginning of spring. Is that what we're? Is that or is this just defined by when the trees let down their sap? And here we go.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a varying season every year, a little bit, isn't it?
It is. It's really the official beginning of spring.
Yeah. While Margaret, a.k.a. Martha, is looking around, I wanted to show you the view from her country kitchen window. And what I'm looking at right out there is a little place where the piglets run around. And just recently they were out there frolicking. And up there to where the chickens are. And that's a sugar shack. Is that what you call it, sugar shack? Or
well, traditionally in Vermont, it would be referred to as the sugar house.
The sugar house.
And it's interesting. We have a couple of different people from away that help us with the sugaring operation, and they're great. And depending on where you're from. We have one couple that's from Connecticut. So they were saying they call it the sap house.
The sap house.
The sap house. That's what they call it.
Oh, I like the sugar house.
Yeah. And they always they're also saying that they're sapping. Doing certain things, which is a term that we never use in Vermont.
Right.
So anyway, it's just sort of interesting.
What I'm looking at there is the barn where the horses are, and then right there is the milk room. You can see those windows right to the right of the barn doors, and then on the far right side there, that's where you call that the milking. What was that? The milk house or
yes,
the milk house.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a beautiful vision. I don't know if you saw the milk cans on the trees. No, what is the sap? What do you call those? The
The sap buckets.
The sap buckets.
Sap buckets.
Yeah, that's a sugar. It must be a sugar maple right outside the front here.
And many people today, of course, are using the plastic pipeline.
Oh.
But we do things the old-fashioned way here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still use buckets.
Margaret and Stuart were just written up in the paper twice this week, showing one picture with Margaret and her team of horses that drive out into the woods to collect the sap buckets, and they're talking also about their work with the Weston A. Price Foundation and returning their community to nutrient-dense foods. So here we go. This is
and these really are not. This is not a nutrient-dense food, but this is a traditional treat.
okay. So this is not a nutrient-dense foods except for the eggs you used, or the farm eggs, right?
That's right. There's lots of butter that goes into this dough as well. There's eggs in it.
So
it's a very rich, sweet dough.
So so instead of how we are, in our culture right now, we eat a lot of refined sweeteners and things like that. But this is an improvement on that, because you're at least using the finest ingredients.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Many of them made here, right here on the farm. All right.
Yeah, and this is the maple cream that I have. I've prepared. I prepared this actually a couple of weeks ago. And I just store it in the fridge. And I've mixed this with butter. So this is a combination of the cream, melted butter, and I put in, just to thicken it a little bit, a tablespoon of flour.
And that goes on a raw dough.
And that goes over the raw dough.
Oh, I thought that would be
right.
a frosting. How interesting. That's the way it looks. And you stay away from the edges, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll get it up there a little bit.
So is this going to be rolled?
This is going to be, yes.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Oh.
That's how we're going to make these sticky buns.
Don't you want to just put your finger and go?
I know, it's like so good. And especially this maple cream once it's mixed with the butter. And they actually have a maple butter that you can do as well, which is exactly this, without the tablespoon of flour. So you would mix your the maple cream that you've made with some really nice quality butter, and marvelous spread.
I love that.
Just
she gets
absolutely marvelous.
every little drop out.
Absolutely. And if Stuart were here, he would be he'd be lapping it out of he'd be eating it right out of
That's fun.
the can.
That's fun.
And I'm going to spread some.
And this is a real life kitchen, so the phone does
Right, I'm going to spread some walnuts, and I think I also should check this smell.